Hello and welcome to the Rangers Journal. My name is Kai Watson and today is the second episode of 5 players Rangers could sign. Today we're going to look at the Danish Superliga. After a poll on Twitter, it was quite the clear winner. So the first episode focused on the Hungarian top flight. Today we're going to be looking at the Danish top flight. The Scandinavian leagues are leagues that fans always think we could delve more into. There's definitely some bargains to be had in those leagues. Players that have came from these leagues recently that have went on for big money. Obviously, in January, Rangers went for Mohamed Diamande, who came from Nordsjælland, obviously playing in Denmark. So I'm going to look at 5 more players who I think are very good value for money and the club could bring in not only to improve the side but look to sell for profit in the future. First player we're going to look at is Frederick Alves, 24-year-old Danish centre-back who plays for Brøndby. He's 6'2". He's a very composed centre-back on the ball. As you can see, you look at his key stats, a 91% pass accuracy, 61% low ball accuracy on 4.2 successful attempts per 90 is really high number. It's obviously something that's been implemented into Philippe Clement's style. The centre backs have a lot of the ball, they also play very direct. So those two stats are something we kind of need to look at when going forward with centre backs. 1.9 and almost 2 interceptions per 90 is also really high. It shows kind of how well he reads the game. And again, with the 5.6 recoveries, it shows how good his positioning is, pick up those loose balls, and he also intercepts them before they even get to be a loose ball at times. 1.2 tackles per 90 might look low. Tackle numbers are always maybe not the best barometer of a defender's quality, but the 56% ground duels won, 73% aerial duels won is also very high. He almost wins 3/4 of his duels in the air. He's a calm and composed defender that's also athletic and very quick. It's something I don't think we have much in the centre back area recently. I think John Souttar's deceptively athletic. He's not the quickest, and I think Connor Goldson physically is maybe on a decline. I still think he'll up the levels that he's had recently, but I don't think he'll get maybe athletically to the level that he has been the last few years. And again, I don't know what's happening with Ben Davies if we'll ever see him in the Rangers shirt again. And Balogun's getting on. Even though Balogun is very athletic, it's the type of thing we can kind of expect to see decline if he manages to stay next year or maybe even the year after that. But talking a bit more about Alves, he was previously a 1.4 million signing for West Ham as a youngster. Also had a loan spell at Sunderland, but it's obviously been in Denmark where he's been able to kind of hone his game and show what he's capable of. So I think he could be a very shrewd signing in an area that we really should be looking to improve in the summer. The next player's a very interesting one. So Marko Divkovic also plays for Brøndby. He's a 24-year-old Croatian. He's been playing left wing back this season, so he can play anywhere up the left side. He's 5'11", but the most interesting thing about Divkovic is he was actually brought in as a striker slash right winger. But this season, with Brøndby playing three at the back, he's been deployed at left wing back and has performed very well. So look at some of his stats. In 15 appearances, he's got 2 goals and 4 assists. He's managed to create 6 big chances in those 15 games. 1.4 key passes per 90. 42 dribble success is pretty high for a fullback. He's also fouled 1.1 times, so the fouls isn't taken into consideration in the dribble success. 2.1 tackles per 90. Again, it's pretty high for the kind of fullback, left wing back area. 3.8 recoveries also is pretty decent, and the 54% ground duels won on 3.8 per 90. It's a really good number. So defensively, considering he was brought in as a striker or right wing option, his defensive numbers are pretty good. He's solid down the left hand side. Obviously covers left wing, left back. He can also, I doubt if we were buying him for that position, we'd stick him as a striker, but he's very composed in front of goal due to having the experience playing there. Can play on the right wing cutting in his left foot, but I think he's most dangerous when he's driving down the left hand side. He's got the quality to beat a defender. He's got a very good left foot for swinging those crosses in and creating chances. So I think he's a very interesting option. I don't know if he's the type of player that would be happy dropping back to left back instead of playing left wing back. He's been used to being able to bomb up and down the left hand side all season, obviously with that cover of the left side he's centre half, so I'm not sure how it would translate to left back, but like I said, his defensive numbers are pretty good. So I think again he's a very interesting option. Be another Croatian left back. He's got the quality in his left foot that kind of Barisic possesses, along with being a bit more athletic. So I think if we were looking for that attacking fullback option there, if Ridvan happened to leave, I think Marko Divkovic could be a great alternative. The next player is probably the one I'm most excited about. So Tochi Chukwueze is a 20-year-old Danish central midfielder who plays for Lyngby. He's 6'2". He's got 8 caps for the under 21s. In 18 appearances this season, he scored 3 goals and got 2 assists. He's got an incredible 75% long ball accuracy on 1.5 per 90. 64% dribble success again is incredible. 1.3 per 90, 1.8 tackles per game, 4.9 recoveries, only dribble past 0.6 times per game, which is an excellent number, shows he doesn't get beat very often in midfield battles. Again, just to kind of highlight that, the 56% ground duels, 1 on 4.4 per 90. And he's also brilliant in the air, uses his height very well, very aerially dominant, as shown by the 66% aerial duels 1 per 90. So Chukwuani's ex-Norgerland, very surprised looking at him that they've let him go, especially to a club in the same league. He's excellent at driving forward. He's kind of tough to get off the ball. You see, he just shrugs off opponents. He uses his body, his height, and his frame very well to keep the ball. He's also great at arriving late into the box, which is where he gets most of his chances and shots from. Just a very impressive player to look at and an excellent profile, kind of similar to Diamandi, just a bit more solid, a bit more physical, also a bit more defensive. Like I said, he takes the ball, he drives the team forward, he gets stuck in. He's an absolute monster when driving forward. You see him just shrug off opponents constantly, so he's good at getting the ball up the pitch, creating chances for others, getting goals by that late arrival in the box. I just think he's very impressive, especially for his age. I think he's the type of player that would make another step before making a kind of massive move, and I think Rangers should really be looking at him. He's already impressed for Denmark under 21s. I don't doubt it won't be long before he kind of makes a step up to the first team. So, impressive player. He's young, great profile, physically and on the ball. So, like I said, he's the most probably exciting one for me on this list. And I think if Rangers do decide to let Lundstrom and Jack go, I think he's the perfect player to come in and kind of slot into one of those positions. Moving into the forward areas, we have Lis Dvordsen, 23-year-old Haitian winger, can play on either side, but plays mostly off the right because he cuts in on his left foot. 5'10", and he's currently playing for Odense. So let's look at his key stats this season. So in 14 appearances, he scored 8 goals, averaging 120 minutes per goal, with a very impressive 25% goal conversion rate. 46% dribble success and almost 2 successful attempts per 90. 5.33 touches in the opposition box kind of shows how much time he spends in there and he likes getting into the box to try and get a shot away. 3.64 recovery shows the kind of work he does in the forward areas to try and win the ball back, pick up the loose balls and drive forward. So looking at his play style, he's quick, a very strong dribbler. He always looks to get it on his left foot. He is comfortable enough taking it on his right, but he always looks to kind of cut inside from the right, get that shot away with his left. He's definitely a shoot first winger instead of a creator. Like he's not had any assists this season. It's not that he's incapable of creating. It's just he will look to get the shot away first, but he is obviously a capable creator. His dribbling ability kind of helps him make space for himself and opens the game up for others. He can play on either wing. He's maybe better used off of the right to kind of cut in on his left foot, but also perfectly capable of playing on the left hand side. And I actually think he'd make a very good striker. He's composed in front of goal, like you see, the 25% goal conversion rate means he scores 1 in every 4 shots on average this season so far. He's also not afraid to have a shot from distance, which maybe not so much recently, but last season and seasons previous, we've not had many players that have been willing to take a shot from outside the box. You now have Cantwell take those shots. Now you get Tom Lawrence in there as well. And Cortez Matondo take shots from kind of around the box. He's another player that would look to cut in on his stronger foot and try and get a shot away. It's the type of player that gets bums off the seats. Always looks to take the defenders on. Very exciting in possession. Like I said, he's quick. Looks to beat his defenders and try and get a shot away. I think he's also the type of player that might be a wee bit frustrating at times. Again, with the lack of creativity, but he's been getting goals this season. Like I said, 8 goals in 14 appearances is very impressive for a winger. So I think looking at the right side, depending on how Clement wants to use players, if he's looking for that right-footed right winger, I don't think he's the best option because as much as he can play on the left, I think he's more effective and uses his better attributes when he's cutting inside. So if he's looking for a left-footed right winger, I think Dvordsen is an excellent option. He's been playing brilliant this season. I think there'll be teams looking at him in the summer. So I think he'd be available for a decent deal. And again, only 23, someone we could definitely make profit on. And the last name on the list is one anyone on Twitter probably expected to see. So we're going to take a look at Alexander Lind, who, if you haven't heard of him already, is a 21-year-old Danish striker who plays for Silkeborg. Looking at his key stats, in 16 appearances, Alexander Lind has 10 goals and 2 assists, an incredible 95 minutes per goal with a even more incredible 34% conversion rate. He's also only missed 3 big chances in the 16 appearances. If you look at that in comparison to Cyril Dessers, he's missed 20 big chances in 23 appearances. 42.1% dribble success. He doesn't attempt a lot of dribbles. He's not a ball carrier. He's not the type of player that's going to carry it over the halfway line and get us up the pitch. 0.95 chances created per 90. He's got the 2 assists. Again, he's not a creator. He's not a ball carrier. That's not what his game is. 1.24 fouls. One, he gets himself about, picks up those fouls by backing into the defenders, and he wins 50% of his aerial duels. So just kind of looking at the numbers based on being a pure striker, those numbers are obviously excellent, but you kind of dive a bit deeper into it. He had an incredible start to the season with a purple patch, scoring 9 goals in 9 games. But then he only scored 1 in 7 after that, and currently he's broken his arm, so he's out until April. Alexander Lind, based on pure numbers, is a poacher, a goal scorer, but I'm not sure he's the type of striker that Philip Clement would like. I know fans were kind of clamouring for someone like Lind in January, but I think if you look beyond just the goal scoring numbers, he's big, he's strong. Obviously, he's a brilliant finisher inside the box. He's more of a Chris Boyd kind of type of striker, which I'm not sure is what Clement and the fans want right now. His overall game has improved over the season. He's better at kind of driving forward with the ball. He's better at taking the ball in and linking up his play. And at 21, obviously, he's still got plenty of time to work on that, so he could be a good investment. But I think coming in, I think a lot of fans just kind of looked on the pure numbers of goal scoring, and I just don't think he's really the type of overall striker that Clement wants. I could be wrong. He might be looking at someone like Alexander Lind and think it's not the type of striker that Rangers have. Even if he's a good second option, he could be a good investment. Like I said, he's only 21 and he's got plenty of time to improve his game. But it depends. He's obviously out pretty much to the end of the season with a broken arm. Depends how he comes back from that and if he can kind of keep that form up. Because obviously, as previously mentioned, he'd scored 9 and 9 at the start of the season, then only scored 1 and 7 after that before getting injured. So it's just a case of being able to see if he can consistently score those numbers or if it was just a purple patch at the start of the season. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. The response to the first episode was incredible and genuinely really appreciate every view, every like, and every single comment that goes into the videos. There's also plenty more content to come on the channel. Even just today, we're going to have our podcast tonight, which will look at the kind of preview of our Europa League opponents. Look forward to the game tomorrow against Hearts. We're going to have a blog piece up, kind of a scouting analysis report on the opposition that we get from the draw today, which obviously takes place at 11 a.m. So there's plenty to come in the Rangers Journal. So please, if you like the content, like, subscribe. Our socials will be down below. Follow us there because there's plenty more to come, and I'd love to have you along for the journey. Thank you for watching and have a great day.